And we've now got the opportunity to walk around the TC24 track carrier, which has the integrated MG500. So it's two separate units because we do sell a lot of the track carriers as standalone units, but this one is a fully integrated with its solids control system, the MG500 on it already. Weirdly, this is a Mark II version, and this is the last Mark II version we're making. We're actually on the Mark III already, so we'll walk around a bit of it, but there's substantial changes on the next one already, isn't there, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, main thing is the engine. This has got a Hyundai engine in it, and the new ones have got a Cummins engine with an extra 80 horsepower.
No. So we've gone from 110 to 150.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's about an extra 40 horsepower.
Okay.
But that 40 horsepower is really crucial because we've actually fitted a third centrifugal pump, and that'll make more sense when we look at this one. What we have, we're a rig manufacturer. Why are we building mud systems and solids control units? Well, this all stems from when we were drilling ourselves back in the days of family business, and we were found that with the increased productivity we were getting with the drill rigs and the rate, the bigger pumps that we were fitting, none of the existing mud systems could cope with what we were achieving. So we ended up going down the oil and gas route, looking at their shakers and getting bigger and bigger equipment to cope, just to keep up with the drill rig, really. And now, since we've taken the rigs even further, and GTD's now setting that standard, we've been forced to basically make mud systems, solid control units, to be sold with the rigs so that they can keep up and cope. It's not magic technology. You just need a huge shaker deck and a large amount of hydro-cones to deal with the volume. So we've got a massive shaker deck, which is a double deck, and 8 hydro-cyclones on there that are Desilters. And they are fed by the same pumps that we would run on the drill rig, which are 4x3x13.
So so 2 pumps. Each pump supplies 4 cones. So you're looking at about 1,000 gallons, 1,000 litres a minute, 250 gallons running to each 4 cones.
Yeah. So the total unit can cope with what the drill rig's set up to do.
More than.
We call it an MG500, 500 gallons a minute. Obviously, that figure is completely dependent on the geology you're putting on the screen, onto the screen, the screen mesh that you've got on there, how fine it is. But yeah, so forget what people really can say. The only 2 things you really need to understand are how many cones there are on the system and how big your screen area is. And with cones, you need to be able to pump the fluid to the cones, otherwise they're just not going to work effectively. So it's important, it's not just the number of cones, it's what pump is pumping the fluid up to the cones to make them work. Otherwise you're just pumping fluid to it and it'll just dribble out and not even get that hydro-cyclone, that centrifugal force won't even separate. It's a massive unit, but it needs to be. You've got a large tank volume there, which makes life a lot easier if you're losing flush and just generally your ratio of solids to liquid. It's narrower than the rig, so anywhere you can get this rig, you can get this mud system. And being on tracks, it's easy to maneuver. There you can see the double decks. Now, what's interesting about these shakers are that traditionally the oil and gas industry works off electric motors and linear shakers, whereas the other stuff you see on the market is where the drillers love hydraulics. They are using orbital hydraulic motors and they're just not as good for shakers. So there's this trade-off of having electric versus hydraulic. We all want hydraulic because it's easy and that's what we're used to, but you don't get the shake performance of an orbital motor as you would with a linear. So what we've done is we've converted electric shakers and we've drilled into the top of the motors and we've put hydraulic motors on the top, and we have the same efficiency of a linear motor, same 7G that gives that great performance, but with hydraulics, and this is a fully hydraulic unit now. Like I said, this is the Mark II version, so this has only got 2 pumps. So we're asking a lot of this second pump, which it feeds the cones, 4 of the cones. It also pumps and primes back to your, so it can pump back to the rig, or you can use that just to prime all your lines, or you can open it and actually drill with it for a little boost, but that will steal away from the cones. What we've now done with the extra horsepower of the Cummins engine is on the other side, we've actually got a separate pump. So each set of cones has its own pump, and this one is dedicated to do that job. So we've improved it. There is a Mark III version of this one, but same function. The next one's a little bit more polished and makes use of that horsepower. But you have in-tank agitators. You have a, like I said, the pump back to tank, or the natural suction from tank if you don't want to do that, and then the cones. That's it, that's your feed in. You have feed in both sides. And here, this section here, which is on the Mark II, is a separate tank for mud, pre-mixing your mud that you can suck out of and discharge into your system. All your controls, walkways, nice and simple. All hydraulic, switch it on. There's only really 3 levers you need to, 2 pumps, 1 shaker. Important to note is that the GTD data system is fully integrated remotely to this. So the 2 talk to each other. They understand flows, tank levels, all of that information, engine parameters, all of that can all be seen over there by the driller. He can see what's going on over with the mud system. Obviously, big thing from all of our customers is safety and just usability. Mud systems have typically been as small as possible, trailer mounted, track mounted. You have to jump on them to work on them. You know, there's no walkways, there's no real safety on them, and sites just don't allow it anymore. So we have a fully integrated walking platform system, which is great. You know, projects aren't 2 boreholes anymore in someone's back garden. They're 100 boreholes, 1,000 boreholes. So you're on site for ages. You can be on site for a year. So,
and that's what this system is designed for.
Yeah.
For your big commercial jobs, not your 1-2 borehole on a domestic house. These are designed for your large-scale commercial projects.
To go with your large-scale commercial drill rig that's getting the productivity.
Yeah.
It's matched with the rigs.
So here's your mud mixer, Venturi, for mixing, and then you can also there's a gate here on this side, and you could actually put an entire pallet up here of bentonite. So you lift it up here through the gate with the forklift, and then this can stay up there permanently until it's gone. The unit can move with that pallet on here. So there's no more lifting bags or having 1 or 2 bags sat on your mud unit. You've got an entire pallet there.
The operator's designed to be turn around, pick it up onto the platform, and then pouring in. So yeah, and we can have a look inside the tank. This is your mud mixing tank. And you can see all the jets in there, all the way around. And then you've got 2 suctions out either side.
To each pump.
That go to each pump. Yeah, and then gated door there for flushing out and cleaning out at the end.
Yeah, so you can mix mud either into the secondary mud tank, or you can mix it directly into your main drilling tank. And also you can, once you mix the mud in your mixing tank, you can then store that ready for when you need it to be transferred into your drilling tank when you need it.
And the eager-eyed of you would have noticed that that hatch will be directly underneath where you put your pallet. So we actually put a small little hatch in there as well for you to check, and you can check the levels of that. So for the people that don't have the data system and want to check levels of tank in the tanks and look in the tanks, you've got hatches as well, the old school way. Yeah, here, if we look at the back of the shaker, this is your inlet manifold, where your primary in. So we have 2 ins, depending on which side. We made it so you can connect either side depending on your drilling setup. So if your next row of boreholes happens to be that side, you don't have to use the mud system, whichever works better. And the 2 flow meters that work with the GTD data system. We provide the rigs with blanks that would fill those gaps if you don't have the data system.
Yeah, and you've also got your mechanical pressure valve as well. On two independent ones, one on each set of cones.
Lighting for when it gets, those long days on sites. Huge shaker. Primary goes onto the bottom deck and discharges onto the metal slope, so it doesn't discharge onto the screens, because if you're just blasting those screens, that back screen will wear out. So what it does is your drilling fluid blasts onto the slope and then flows directly onto the shaker screens and makes its way forward. Anything that passes through gets picked up by the pumps and up to the 2 banks of cones and then goes onto the top deck. Because we have that extra vibration and the large shaker deck, means that we can run fine mesh on the screen. So typically we send these out with a 40 mesh, all API certified, proper oil and gas screens. So it's a 40 mesh, where a lot of the competitors and other things that other equipment out there are running 10 mesh. Now that's how they're quoting that it can be a 400 gallon or a 500 gallon unit, because they're basically letting so much of that fluid go straight into the tank. And the problem with that is, if you're not taking it out, what's the point in letting it go into the tank in the first place to then drastically try and get it out using the hydro-cyclones in your pumps? Don't let it go into the tank in the first place. So we run a very fine mesh. Don't get me wrong, even recently we've been on a job in New York, Alex, where the client...
Yeah, it was very fine sand, and it was blinding the 40 mesh screen. So we had to upgrade it to 20 mesh screens.
Yeah, so we have full stock of all these interchangeable screens, so you can tailor it. But as a whole, you don't really change these screens, do you? Like it's 40 on the bottom, 80 or 100 on the top, and you're good to go. And these things, they can last 6 months before you're changing them. So the clasps on the hydro-cyclones, the way they're connected is quick release. So when they wear out, it's very easy, they're quick release, basically. You just pull them, drop them down and put one in. Which we've got a toolbox that's integrated into this system, a large toolbox that stores all of your shaker screens,
spare cones,
spare nozzles, spare butterfly valves, which we supply with the rig. We give it a little package with the rig, with this unit, as we do with our rigs. We give a load of spares that are your consumables, your known wear items, because that's part of how we do it. So that, for us, changing those cones was a nightmare, wasn't it? So we were like, how can we make this better? The quick release is really simple. Simple, but a nice touch.
I've got electronic pressure valve here. So this sends the signal to the drill rig, so the driller knows what the cone pressures are running at. So typically we'll run between 2 and 4 bar for the hydro cones.
Why are there ball horns here? This is really weird. So that's to stop, if you put flush into here, your flow in, to stop it going down and back up this one and blocking that one. But so let's say you might use the left-hand side for 6 months and you got to use the right-hand side and then find it's completely blocked. So rather than a T and having, like doing it off a T, we've done it like this, and that stops the flow going back, but it gives you that unique bullhorn design. And if you look in at the actual shaker screens, you can see this cog mechanism. So normally what we found was that most of the damage of screens is not done through use, it's actually done through people dropping spanners, tools, or replacing, say, only a back screen, and they're whacking these out and then they damage the screens. So this cog mechanism basically means you go on the outside of the actual shaker, and we provide the tool for that, and you just ratchet out. So it means removal of the wedges of your shaker screens, really easy. This shaker can tip a full 6 degrees backwards. Because it's a linear shaker, it means it doesn't need to be tipped forwards like the orbital ones where it has to come under gravity. These shake it forward. So you can actually hold the solids on the screen by tipping it back. You can pile up that sand and grit really thick. I mean, we've had like 3 inches of thickness on the shaker screens. Really dry it out before it goes off the end. And likewise, you can do the exact opposite. We've got a full 10 degrees down, tilting down, so 16 degrees total of movement, which means if you're drilling in clays and it's sticky clays and you know it's going to bind and blind the screens, you tip it forward and it can come off real quick and you can get it off. So and that's really simple. So instead of having to change the screens to adjust, you can, or your frequency of your vibration or anything like that, it's on, and then you can just adjust using this. You just twist this down both sides and it will alter the angle. You pull the pins out, do that, and then re-pins. You can see you go up one here, really simple, out, go up one, in, and it'll go down at the front, up at the back, whatever you want. Fully skirted with rubber skirts. We've upgraded those all the way around to control splash. Again, this top stainless steel bit here, you can see that's to help the splash as it goes down, to stop it coming. Just try and keep your workplace clean, tidy, dry, not slippy, you know, all of those things. We've just probably talked about 2 years worth of upgrades and designs. We've implemented some of these as many as, like Alex said, 30 rigs ago, but we don't always document them. It's a continuous process, you know, of upgrades. The next rig, the next mud system, like I say, the next big mud system's got a complete revamp, and then all the rigs have got slight tweaks. So it's nice to take the time to show you what we've done, what we're working on. A lot of these upgrades isn't just us implementing them. We've implemented them because of all of our clients around the world. We've learned, we've watched, we've been on site, we've realized what's wrong, we've realized opportunities, and then we pride ourselves as being pretty bloody fast about implementing them and upgrading them. So there is a lot of small upgrades. There's lots more that we haven't talked about from a technical design point of view that, you know, aren't that interesting maybe to the drillers. But, you know, we work very hard behind the scenes and we listen to make sure that the equipment is as good as it can be, and the next one will be better.